Okay, so I'm getting ready to get my chicken into the oven. For the chicken, it's really actually pretty simple. I just grab a 9x13 sheet, spray it with a little bit of Pam, and then whatever spices you like best for your chicken. And we kind of switch it up every week. It's not ever the same thing. I never measure anything, but like your basic spices, salt, pepper, garlic pepper, onion powder, some crushed red pepper. And then this week I use the Kickin' Chicken by Weber. So I do both sides, like I do one side and pat it down, flip it over to the other side, and then on the very top I have some sriracha sauce because we tend to like things a little bit on the spicier side. So what I'm going to do is put this into the oven at 425 degrees uncovered, and I'll probably cook it for like 45 minutes. You just want to check it when you bring it out and make sure that your juices run clear, that it's all the way cooked through, and then you'll let that rest for a little bit. And then the other thing I have going right now on the stove is my quinoa. I have that covered right now, so it's just kind of simmering away. Woo, hear the sizzle. And for the quinoa, it's actually really simple. It just is twice the amount of liquid as the quinoa is. So for this, I did 2 cups of the quinoa. And then this week, since I had already had some leftover chicken stock in the fridge from a different recipe I had used, I went ahead and used chicken stock for my liquid instead of water. So I used 4 cups of that. It's at a low boil on the stove, and that'll cook for like 15 or 20 minutes. And that's going to be the carb component for my chicken packs. And so let me go ahead and get this going, and then I'll come back and show you where we're at. Okay, so this is the turkey dish that I make. We start with some ground turkey. Usually I like to use an extra lean ground turkey, but our giant eagle only had lean ground turkey last night, so that's what we have. I add a frozen pack of stir-fry vegetables, and then I really am kind of a scavenger, so I always try to have some black beans. I try to get the reduced sodium, and I do still rinse them to kind of cut down on that sodium a little bit more. If you don't want to use black beans, you can use a brown rice. That would be good in here too. I add some tomatoes, whether you use diced, crushed, or like a tomato puree. And then we always have salsa. So I do add a little bit of salsa if it's just whatever's left over in the fridge, or if it's a brand new jar. That kind is the black bean and corn, which goes really well with the dish itself. And then you can see on the stove, it's just going to simmer. I have everything in there right now, but when I start it, I just start browning up my meat. I do have some a green pepper that I diced up, and I put that in there while it was sauteing so it could kind of soften up a little bit with the meat. And then I added this Mrs. Dash taco seasoning. I haven't never seen this before, but I kind of like it better because it's salt-free, so you don't have to worry as much about your sodium. So I added this packet to the meat and the green pepper as it was cooking. Then we went ahead and added the rinsed beans, the frozen vegetables, the tomatoes, and now it's just going to kind of saute on the stove for a little bit, like 15 or 20 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and portion that out. Some of the things, other seasonings that I've used, if I don't use the Mrs. Dash taco seasoning, or even in addition to that, spicy jalapeno is one of my favorites, extra spicy. Are you noticing a theme here with the spice? And then Fiesta lime. Fiesta lime is really good too if you're just cooking up some black beans. You can do that with a little bit of fresh lime juice, and that'll give really good flavor to your beans. So there's the turkey dish that we're going to use as part of our meal prep this week, and we'll check back in a little bit when we're ready to start portioning out. Okay, so here's the result of that turkey kind of I used to call it a dirty rice, but this didn't have rice in it. So my husband and I were just saying we can't call it rice, dirty rice. But this is the turkey with the stir-fry vegetables in it and the tomatoes with the taco seasoning. I have 8 containers here, and the way that I did it was I started with my 1 cup measuring cup, and it's not very scientific. I'm not actually weighing these right now, but I took 1 cup, and then I did 1 cup in every single one of the containers, and then I went back with a 1/2 cup measuring cup and again went through each one of the containers, and that gave me 8. I know when I make this pot that I have 8 servings, so I really only just start grabbing like a 1 cup measuring cup and just keeping it even all the way through. If you don't think you're going to have enough on that second round for a 1/2 cup for each, then just use a 1/4 cup, and you just keep going through and adding so that you have the same amount in each one of your containers. And then all you need to do now is get your lids put on them and get them in the fridge. You're ready to go for the week. Okay, so now I'm getting ready to weigh out my chicken into each of the containers that we'll use for the meal pack during the week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start. I have a scale here that we bought online. You can get any kind of food scale that you have that you use. to weigh your food. Really weighing is the best. It's the only way to really know exactly how much you're getting. Even when you have a scoop in your protein powder, it'll say like 1 scoop or 1 rounded scoop. The only way for you to really know that the amount you're getting is what is listed is by measuring it. So this is the food scale we use. Just go ahead. For ours, we just have to turn it on. And then I have it set to grams right now, but I'm going to change it to ounces because that's how that's what I use to weigh the meats. And then what I do is I take one of my containers. So these are the Glad containers. So once I see that's 90.95, then I'll go ahead and hit this. Is it tare?
Yes.
Hit that so that, listen, I don't even know like what this is. It could be real kind of like fancy. It could be like tare or something, but apparently it's just tare. So you hit that and then it's just taking away the amount that this weighs so that I know when I put the chicken in that I'm just getting the weight on the chicken. So over here, once you start doing this, you'll start getting a little bit better about being able to kind of eyeball what it is. So I already just kind of cut off this little end tip here because this is going to be somewhere near that 6 ounces, I think. I hope. So I don't look like a big idiot when I, make my video here. So then I stick this into my container and then we'll look and see what it says. So that says it's 4.95. So I know that I have to keep adding chicken to get to that 6 ounce mark because for our meal packs, 6 ounces of meat is the amount that we use per pack. So if I go ahead and add this other portion of the chicken breast, I'll see how much over I am and then how much I have to take off. So that's 7.05. I know I have to take off an ounce of that. So I'll just cut that away. And what we'll do is we will go ahead and do this with each of the chicken breasts that are here, weighing it just like this for each of the containers until all the chicken is used. And then we're going to come back and we're going to add our broccoli and we're going to add our quinoa. See you in a couple minutes. Okay, so we got all of our chicken has been weighed. Every one of the containers has 6 ounces of chicken in it. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and add my quinoa to each of those packs. I already did a couple here, but just to show you really quickly, I do not measure the quinoa. I know if you're prepping for a competition or if you want to be really exact about it, you would be weighing this. You would not use my measuring cup method because that would not be, it's just not the most accurate way to do it. So I basically do just take this 1/2 cup measuring cup and then plop it right into my little container there. And then I just move right on to the next container and it's just like an assembly line, get them all done. And then the last thing that we add to each of these is some frozen broccoli. You can pick whatever kind of vegetable you want. I know asparagus is really good. I do enjoy having some asparagus, but right now what I had in my freezer was these frozen steamable broccoli florets that I got from, I actually think I got them from Sam's Club. So when I microwave these, any of my frozen vegetables that I'm microwaving for food prep, I don't cook them all the way because they're going to get cooked a little bit further when you reheat them during the week in your meal pack. So I cook them for a couple minutes less than they say on that initial microwave cook time. So what we're going to do is, here we go, if I can get this together. We're going to put one of the meal packs here onto the scale. Well, we should turn it on first. So turn on the scale, just like before when we did the chicken. But now this time broccoli is measured in grams. So I'm going to change the unit to grams. I'm going to go ahead and put my pack on here that already has the chicken and the quinoa in it. And then I'm going to go ahead and tear that away again so that I'm back to 0. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take the broccoli from the pack. I have a little thing here. Let's see if I can do this. If I can just get some of this broccoli from this pack and I'll take it out and then just add it to the pack. And you keep adding until you get to the serving size for whatever this is. And really now that I'm doing my video, I realized I don't actually know what the serving size is for the broccoli. So I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to look at the other bag because these were all, I don't think it's on here. No, it's not. So I'm going to have to go ahead and look at the big bag since I bought this in bulk. It was part of a bigger container. And what I'll do is I'll double check to make sure what that serving size is. And I'll go ahead and do that with each one of these packs the same exact way, same method. And then we'll put lids on and get everything in the fridge and we'll be done. Okay, so we got all of our food is totally packed, got the lids on it, and everything is in the fridge so that this week all we have to do when we're, we need lunch or dinner, just grab a food pack and we're off to go. Some of the other things real quickly too that I keep in the house for us are Greek yogurts. I switch between kind of what's on sale and what tastes good, and I always like to have the vanilla Greek yogurt because I can mix that with protein powder at night and almost make kind of like a Pro-Yo, like a frozen protein yogurt. And then that's homemade guacamole because let's face it, today's the Super Bowl and we might eat some chips and some guacamole, trying to keep it healthy. But there you go. That's it. That's food prep for this week. If you have any questions, post a comment below and I will do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching and I hope you have a great day.